All right, what's going on YouTube? Today we are looking at the Bucks supporting cast. We're looking at if the supporting cast is enough to help support Giannis and Damian Lillard. So I'm going to be breaking down the more established players that already have deep embedded roles in their spots. We are then going to get into players that are currently trying to carve out and earn their playing time this season. So Khris Middleton, he is a consistent, reliable player for the Bucks when he is healthy. He is coming off an injury. There are a couple concerns for Khris Middleton. First, primarily being his health, and he is getting older. He is 32 years old, so he's not that old, but he is getting older. He shot a career worst 43.7% from the field last season, and he averaged just 15.1 points per game, which is his worst since 2016 to 2017 season. So some question marks kind of loom around Khris Middleton, whether he'll be healthy enough to play a full season. But we do know if he is healthy this season, there's no doubt he'll play a pivotal role in helping support Giannis and Dame. The next established player we were looking at that's been here since 2018 is Brook Lopez. Brook was the third leading scorer last year behind Giannis and Drew. He actually led the team in starts with 78. His 16 points per game average last season was the best since he was with the Nets in the 2017 season. He shot a career best from behind the three-point line at 37%. He also averaged a career best 2.5 blocks per game. Brook Lopez is sort of a renaissance man. He can do it all as a big man. He can pass, he can shoot the three, he can rebound, obviously. However, there is kind of a question mark that looms for Brook Lopez, and it's something that he really can't control, but that is his age. He is turning 35 this year. Another guy to touch on briefly is Pat Connaughton. He came in with Brook Lopez in 2018. Connaughton, he's a catch and shoot three-point guy, shooting the three very well. He's also a very good defensive player. He is a glue guy for the Bucks. He just kind of holds everything together. One question mark for Connaughton is, can he stay healthy? He battled with some injuries last year. Also, he did have statistically one of his worst seasons. Bobby Portis Jr. is another player expected to play a lot of minutes this year. He's a spark plug for the Bucks. He brings a lot of energy to this team. He comes off one of his best seasons statistically. He averaged 14.9 points per game, just under 10 rebounds and 9.6, followed by shooting 55% from the field. Another thing with Bobby too, as a big man, he does help space the floor. He can hit the three-point shot. He is respectable from there. He's also shown to be durable as well. Really the only question mark with Bobby Portis Jr. is, can he be more consistent? He is a streaky player. Looking at our next player, Malik Beasley, 26 years old out of Florida State. At just 26 years old, he's sort of already been a journeyman. He went from the Nuggets to the Timberwolves to the Jazz to the Lakers, and now he's on the Bucks. He's a career 38% shooter from the three-point line, though that percentage has gone down in the previous 2 years. Malik Beasley, he's a very offensive-minded player. He's a volume three-point shooter. He's not afraid to get up the three-point shot. The Bucks really need Malik to keep evolving into more of a three-point specialist type guy. He really doesn't need to create his own shot, and it does look like he is already headed that way. The last 2 seasons, 73% of his shots have came from behind the three-point line. In just those 2 years as well, he's made 426 three-point shots. 25% of his threes last year were considered closely guarded. This number should be expected to go down with a little bit more of a talented roster. Though Beasley is athletic, he has a length, this hasn't always translated into a great defender. This is an area he's struggled. Even when you look at his role on the Lakers last year, he was routinely subbed out because of his defense deficiencies. This is an area hopefully that Adrien Griffin can help develop in Malik. And though it is just the preseason, Malik Beasley has looked improved so far. Another new player for the Bucks this season is 29-year-old Payne. He's entering his 9th season in the NBA. Last season with the Suns, he averaged 9.8 points, 4.2 assists, shooting 38.4% from the three-point line. Payne will be a great backup point guard for Damian Lillard. He's a great ball handler. He has great vision. He also has that playmaking ability to get to the rim. He's very quick. He can hit spot-up threes, but he can also shoot them off the dribble. He's shown as well. Also, he is an asset defensively. Although he is just 6'1", he boasts a 6'7" wingspan. A big weakness for Payne is that he does struggle around the rim. He also has shown a tendency at times to be a little bit of a ball jack. Getting into the players now who will be fighting for minutes this season. The first player is Brook Lopez, coming in at 35 years old. Robin, he adds a veteran presence, and he also adds a little bit to the positional depth at center, an area that's been lacking for the Bucks. Though Robin does have his offensive deficiencies, and and he probably won't see that many minutes for the Bucks this season. He is a 15-year veteran, and he will be able to contribute to the Bucks in more ways than just on the court. MarJon Beauchamp is another player that a lot of fans are hoping to see a lot of this season. He was able to carve out 13.5 minutes per game last season despite a championship roster. In those 13 minutes, he averaged 5.1 points per game. MarJon, he's physically imposing. He's 6'6". He boasts a 7-foot wingspan. A lot of his playing time last year was due to him being a defender or helping out defensively. It looks like there's no doubt he's been growing as an offensive player. Just this offseason, everybody knows he had that pro-am game where he scored 83 points. He's shown a lot of flashes last year and as well as this preseason too, but he does struggle with consistency. An area of concern for MarJon is his turnovers. Sometimes he does like to be a little bit more ball dominant. MarJon also does need to get a little bit more stronger and more physical. Even though he is very physically imposing, he doesn't always play like it. A lot of people are very optimistic for MarJon. One of the biggest reasons why is Adrien Griffin. Adrien Griffin, he's known to be a player developer. There's no doubt just watching MarJon that he has a lot of potential. AJ Green is another player fighting for a role this season. AJ is an elite shooter with a high release point. There's no doubt what his role is when he comes onto the floor. However, he does have some liabilities. He's shown he's not always a great passer, and defensively he does struggle in the pick and roll options. AJ did play 35 games last year for the Bucks. He averaged 4.2 points per game, and he shot 42% from the three. Tai Tai Washington is another player fighting for minutes this year. Tai Tai was drafted in the 2022 draft. His career unfortunately has been plagued by injuries, which I think has really dropped his stock as far as in the NBA. Tai Tai, he can really stroke the three. He does release the ball low, but he has a lightning quick release. He's an unselfish player and a great passer. He also has a killer step back. Some of Tai Tai's weaknesses are what we already covered. He is a very injury prone player. He also lacks athleticism, so he is a little bit of a liability on the defensive end. As always, thank you for watching, and please let us know in the comments below what under the radar player do you think will have the biggest impact in this season. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.